Welcome to Twisted Creations. My name is Andrea and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a lavender incense. I'm going to be using my new comb mold. This was a success with the sandalwood and cinnamon one. That came out really great actually. That was my first success. I am not going to be making a backflow one because as you saw in the last video it burns, and it burns well, it just smokes a whole lot and I don't have a proper incense holder to do that right now. But the ingredients I'm going to be using today is my base is going to be marshmallow root, which I'm going to be using 2 tablespoons of that. My aromatic is going to be lavender flower powder and lavender essential oil cut with DPG, dipropylene glycol, which is already mixed together in here. So I'm going to set those to the side. And then I'm going to be, for my bonding agent, I'm going to be using benzoin gum powder, and that's going to be 1 teaspoon of that. This one I'm using 1 tablespoon of. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to need to do is, since these two are already powders that are all set to go, they can go right there. But I need to measure out roughly a little over 2 tablespoons of my marshmallow root to put in my coffee grinder that you can't see off screen. There it is, my coffee grinder, to scared myself to put in here and grind down to a fine powder. Your incense, what you want to do is have everything the same consistency. So if these are a fine powder, you want to get this to a fine powder as well, so that way it can burn evenly is what you're looking for. Come off, lid. Alright, so let's measure this out. Why I'm measuring a little over is because when this grinds down, I want 2 tablespoons of the ground, and sorry, one of these is kind of hard, but why I want it down, because I want 2 tablespoons of the fine powder, and I'm going to have to sift that out, and there's going to be some, not all of it's going to grind down to a fine powder. So now I'm going to grind this for 2 minutes. Let's see, this is the spot. Alright, make sure this is on 4 cups and on the finest, on fine, and then turn on my timer. Okay, so that was a little over 2 minutes, but so now I'm going to show you what I got. You can see the fine powder smoke from it. There you go. So now I got a partial part, some fine powder, some smaller pieces. So I'm going to dump it in my sifter here that I'm so happy that I bought. Okay. See, that is the finest powder. That's what I'm looking for. What's left on the bottom there. That's as fine as I can get it. So sorry. There it is. That's fine powder. Just gotta be careful with the blade and get it out of here and into here. Even this I will sift and get in there. So to make sure there's no big chunks. But I'll be back once this is sifted into here. What I found is the best way to get all the wood powder off is use a bamboo stick or a toothpick. Gets in the corners. As you can see, not all of it blends down. There's a nice cotton that comes with the marshmallow root. So I try to get as much of the soft powder out of there, as you see I can do. So there you go. Now I'll measure out that and sift it again to make sure none of these big pieces, because you can see some big pieces got in there. I don't think those will hurt anything, but I'll take that out. As you can see, I'm back, and not all of it grinds down to a fine powder. This reminds me of a cotton fibrous thing going on here, and you got big chunks that didn't grind down. So I'll set this aside. I'll measure out 2 tablespoons out of this, and I will get measuring the other ones. As you can see, that's not quite 2 tablespoons that I need, so I need to grind down some more. Alright, as you can see, it's sifted down. I'm going to measure out, make sure I have 2 tablespoons now. Alright, I got 2 tablespoons, which is what I wanted. Now I'm going to measure out, as soon as I wipe this off, 1 tablespoon of lavender flower powder. Now I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of the benzoin gum. Here we go. For the base and resin ratio is usually 2 to 1, or 2 like tablespoons to like 1/4 teaspoon. But I found if I add a little more, they tend to be a little stronger. So now I'm going to measure out 5 milliliters of the dipropylene glycol and DPG and for the lavender incense, and it looks like I actually have a 1/2 teaspoon, so I need to add some more. There we go. Now this is a 2 to 1 ratio. So I added about a 1/2 more of that, and now I'm going to add the last bit. So a 1/3 more DPG and less than a 1/3.
I got this for you.
Thank you, Emily. Less than a 1/3 of the lavender oil. Okay, so now, sorry for that interruption. My daughter came and she wanted spoons, but these are dirty, so I gave her an extra set, a clean set. But now I'm going to put 5 milliliters of the essential oil and the DPG into here. And here we go. Okay, now we mix. Any fragrance oil that you want to use in making incense, you can use just about any scent. The only thing, it has to have a flash point of 200 or more, because you want to make sure when it burns, you can smell it. You want to use a base that barely has a smell. And after I'm done, I'm going to make note of exactly what I did, how much fragrance oil I used, how much marshmallow root I used. Right now I'm making sure that every piece is wet with the oils. And then I'm going to use water to make it into a dough. Alright, it looks like I got it thoroughly mixed together. You can see that it's all wet, but not wet enough to make it a dough, so let's add water. There we go. The amount of water you're going to use is much more than the witch hazel you use in a bath bomb, because you're working with a wood, so it's very absorbent of water, and you're trying to make a dough and not just wet sand to pack together. What I like about incense is the burning part, and I want to make my own. I want special fragrances, which is why I got into making this, and since I did, I am determined to not fail. There's a lot of different ingredients you can try to use. I am working on a list of different ones, different bases, different aromatics, different bonding agents. And I'm even going to try different liquids. Water is the easiest liquid to use to make your dough, but I want to try teas. I heard that you can do wines and beers. Oh, maybe not beers, but you can use different things. But I just want to see. This says wine, brandy, herbs, herb water, olive oils. So I want to try all the stuff and see the different experiments that I can do, what works, what doesn't work, try different recipes from online. Is what I really love to do. As you can see, it's starting to become a ball, a dough ball, but it's not quite there yet, so just a little more water and then I'll have my ball, my dough, instant dough. See, I got a dough ball now. This looks exactly like some of the videos that I've watched that they get. So that is a promising sign. So now I'm going to mold it into here. Something to make sure you do if you want cone tips is make sure you get it all the way to the bottom, which I will do with this one. And it's all about how much you push in there, how tight you pack it. The tighter you pack these, the firmer and stronger your instant cone. And the faster you pack them, the less it will dry out and crumble on you as you do it. Alright, so this is all I got left. I got 1, 3, 6, 8 instant cones out of that batch. This is very exciting. So this I'm going to leave in here for 24 hours, and then I'll split them open and let them dry for another 24 to 48 hours on each side. So they're going to dry for a total of 3 days before I think about burning them. I'm probably going to wait a whole week after I take them out of here before I burn them. I'll be back when I burn them. I'll be back when it's time to burn them. This time around, I remembered to record the opening of the mold. So this I rolled out. I want to burn and see how that goes. This was what was left over of this. Some of them are good, like these ones. Some of them ripped apart. And there's no way to fix that. As you can see, I had pushed these in separately and they didn't mush together, so that's why that didn't work. But now I gotta leave these to dry before I can pluck these out of here so they don't break anymore. They should start looking like this in a few days. I'm gonna leave these to dry for a few more days and I'll be back.
It's all in my face.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get it to me. Smells like campfire again.
Alright, we're gonna go with Lavender Essential. Doesn't have high enough flash point. We can put this out if you want to.
Me?
Or let it burn. I don't care.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what you wanted to do.
We're gonna go with no.